thank you once again for tuning in. Family Radio Service. The Family Radio Service, FRS, is an improved walkie-talkie radio system authorized in the United States since 1996. This personal radio service uses channelized frequencies around 462 and 467 megahertz in the ultra-high frequency band, UHF. It does not suffer the interference effects found on Citizen's band at 27 megahertz, or the 49 megahertz band also used by cordless telephones, toys, and baby monitors. FRS uses frequency modulation, FM, instead of amplitude modulation. Since the UHF band has different radio propagation characteristics, short-range uses of FRS may be more predictable than the more powerful license-free radios operating in the HF-CB band. Initially proposed by Radio Shack in 1994 for use by families, FRS has also seen significant adoption by business interests as an unlicensed, low-cost alternative to the business band. New rules issued by the FCC in May 2017 clarify and simplify the overlap between FRS and GMRS radio services. Worldwide, a number of similar personal radio services exist. These share the characteristics of low-power operation in the UHF or upper VHF band, and simplified or no end-user licenses. Exact frequency allocations differ, so equipment legal to operate in one country may cause unacceptable interference in another. None of these radios working with frequencies in the FRS frequency band are legal to operate anywhere in Europe. Technical information. FRS radios use narrowband frequency modulation, NBFM, with a maximum deviation of 2.5 kHz. The channels are spaced at 12.5 kHz intervals. After May 18, 2017, FRS radios are limited to 2 watts on channel 1 to 7 and channels 15 to 22. Previously, FRS radios were limited to 500 milliwatts. All 22 channels are shared with the General Mobile Radio Service. FRS radios frequently have provisions for using subaudible tone squelch, CTC-SS, and DCS codes, filtering out unwanted chatter from other users on the same frequency. Although these codes are sometimes called privacy codes or private line codes, PL codes, they offer no protection from eavesdropping and are only intended to help reduce unwanted audio when sharing busy channels. Tone codes also do nothing to prevent desired transmissions from being swamped by stronger signals having a different code. All equipment used on FRS must be certified according to FCC regulations. Radios are not certified for use in this service if they exceed limits on power output, have a detachable antenna, allow for unauthorized selection of transmitting frequencies outside of the 22 frequencies designated for FRS, or for other reasons. After December 2017, the FCC no longer accepts applications to certify handheld FRS units providing for transmission in any other radio band. FRS radios must use only permanently attached antennas. There are also tabletop FRS base station radios that have whip antennas. This limitation intentionally restricts the range of communications, allowing greatest use of the available channels by the community. The use of duplex radio repeaters and interconnects to the telephone network are prohibited under FRS rules. FRS manufacturers generally claim deceptively exaggerated range. The presence of large buildings, trees, etc. will reduce range. Under exceptional conditions, such as hilltop to hilltop or over open water, communication is possible at 60 kilometers or more, but that is rare. Under normal conditions, with line of sight blocked by a few buildings or trees, FRS has an actual range of about 0.5 to 1.5 kilometers. FRS GMRS hybrid radios. In May 2017, the FCC significantly revised the rules for combination FRS GMRS radios. Combination radios will be permitted to radiate up to 2 watts on 15 of the 22 channels as opposed to 0.5 watts, and all FRS channels are now considered shared with the GMRS service. Operation over 2 watts or operation on GMRS repeater input channels will still require GMRS licensing. The FCC will not certify combination FRS/GMRS radios that exceed the current powered limits for the FRS service. Hybrid FRS/GMRS consumer radios have been introduced that have 22 channels. Before May 2017, radios had been certified for unlicensed operation on the 7 FRS frequencies, channels 8 to 14, under FRS rules. Prior to the 2017 revision, FCC rules required a GMRS license to operate on channels 1 to 7 using more than 0.5 watts. Many hybrid radios have an ERP, effective radiated power, that is lower than 0.5 watts on channels 1.7, or can be set by the user to operate at low power on these channels. This allows hybrid radios to be used under the license-free FRS rules if the ERP is less than 0.5 watts and the unit is certified for FRS operation on these frequencies. Beginning September 28, 2017, FRS operation is permitted at up to 2 watts on these channels. Interference to licensed services may be investigated by the FCC. Channels 8 to 14, formerly exclusive to FRS since September 28, 2017, can be used by GMRS at 0.5 watts. Channels 15 to 22, formerly reserved exclusively for GMRS, can be used at up to 2 watts in the FRS. Effective September 30, 2019, it becomes unlawful in the USA to import, manufacture, sell, or offer to sell radio equipment capable of operating under both GMRS and FRS. This will not include amateur and other radio equipment that are not certified under Part 95, such as many handheld radios that are marketed for amateur use but are also able to transmit on FRS and GMRS. List of FRS channels compared to GMRS. Maybe note to self just to add a little bit of color to distinguish between the 462 MHz and 467. GMRS has other exclusive channels for repeater input. No FRS unit shall exceed 0.5 watt ERP on channels 8 to 14. FRS channels 15 to 22 are shared with GMRS, also under 2 watt ERP limit. However, if the device includes any of the following channels, thus a GMRS license is required. Benefits of a GMRS license include the ability to use repeaters, run higher power up to 50 watts, and utilize external antennas, which result in much greater communication distances. FRS radios in other countries. Personal UHF radio services similar to the American FRS exist in other countries, although since technical standards and frequency bands will differ, usually FCC-approved FRS equipment may not be used in other jurisdictions. Canada. American standard FRS radios have been approved for use in Canada since April 2000. As of 2016, only low-power 2-watt ERP half-duplex GMRS operation is permitted, but a license is not required. Repeater and high-power operations are not permitted. This allows the use of dual-mode FRS/GMRS walkie-talkies, but precludes the use of high-powered GMRS devices designed for vehicle and base station purposes. Mexico. Since tourists often bring their FRS radios with them, and since trade between the US, Canada, and Mexico is of great value to all three countries, the Mexican Secretary of Communication and Transportation has authorized use of the FRS frequencies and equipment similar to that in the US. However, dual-mode FRS, GMRS equipment is not approved in Mexico, so caution should be exercised in operating hybrid FRS, GMRS devices purchased elsewhere. South America. Dual-mode GMRS, FRS equipment is also approved in Brazil. GMRS only in simplex mode GMRS frequencies thus are not allowed, and most other South American countries. Portable radios are heavily used in private communication, mainly by security staff in nightclubs and malls, but also in private parking, maintenance, and delivery services. Other personal radio services. And there's a main article which actually looks worth reading. I opened it. I don't think I'm going to include it here. Many personal radio services similar to FRS exist around the world. Because radio spectrum allocation varies around the world, a personal radio service device may not be usable outside its original area of purchase. FRS equipment may not be legally permitted in other countries because it uses frequencies allocated to service such as police or fire. However, many countries have equivalents to the FRS.